I can't cut my own heart out, but there's no equivalent for how sorry I am. Hello and welcome to Liam's Lyceum. I'm your host Liam, aka Hambar, and today I'll be doing a spoiler-free review of Lisa Kuznak's Pallas. Pallas is a 2023 novel by Lisa Kuznak. A man is stranded on Pallas, and seeing a settlement sends out a distress call, not knowing if this settlement is abandoned, or rather thinking it is. The story actually starts with a woman listening to that call, and she is nervous as she has never encountered anyone coming from the outside. It seems he has been, out from Ceres Mining Company. Kylan is his name, and Tally is the woman we really get a good first look at. Pallas is an alien and isolated place. It seems fine at first, if a little odd on the surface, or rather underneath. Obviously something is up, though, from the very beginning. It's very obvious. So Kylan seems kind of an everyman, a working class man. He's good at, most things with his hands. Tally seems very sweet, but her grayish skin makes her somewhat alien, and Pallas is rather underpopulated and has many more women than men. Sarah, on the other hand, is an outsider among the colony, and she is the one who actually finds Kylan. She is friends with Janik, who does not like the council, and this council are people who live in a black pyramid and seem to rule the colony. It's sort of a weird dystopia that starts to emerge here. This book is divided into 3 parts, the first being the shortest. Kylan is the main character, and personally, I didn't really actually like him much at first. Not anything wrong with the writing, but he just kind of comes off as the type of guy I'm not really a big fan of, generally. So the perspective here is also interesting. Mostly it's a simple third-person narrative, but at times it seems to go into first-person, or maybe even second. I think these are thoughts, but they're not distinguished much from the rest of the text, like in italics or something like that. I don't think it really hurts the reading, but I did notice it was very obvious, and it happens quite a bit, actually. And here's an example. Quote, "She didn't know what, but there was something. It was agitating to not know. So she chewed her nails and paced in automation maintenance instead of scanning the reports. One white-paneled wall to another, ticks and hums of the console faded and loud and back again. Trying to ignore that unexplainable dread in her stomach only made it worse. No one else, not even Janik, has this feeling. It is unexplainable, but I don't know how, and I'm all alone." All right, so if you notice at the end, it switches into first person there from starting in third person. Now, it is adult, there's some sexual content, and the inhabitants of Pallas are very okay with public nudity and even public copulation, just so you're aware of that. It's certainly not hard sci-fi. It's a sort of soft sci-fi, right? Sci-fi horror, even in particular, like something like Leviathan Wakes, but it doesn't have the noir elements of Leviathan Wakes either. It's uneasy, it's a bit gross, until about a third of the way through, and that's when it gets more horrific, honestly. And it becomes definitely more gripping about that time as well. It's pretty short, but all things considering, I think it could be a little shorter maybe, or the pacing more consistent. This is a debut, I believe, as well, though. It involves mushrooms, though, some body horror, and doppelgangers, if you will. The story feels confined very much in the characters, and the Pallas setting, which is rather large, seems kind of small. The sense of the surroundings and setting are kind of vague. The bad guys are actually kind of goofy at one point, especially when they relegate this woman to a reproduction to an extent which kind of felt like a phony and villainous look at those who don't like abortion in real life, though it's not about abortion, so maybe it's not supposed to be that, but it kind of felt like that in the present political climate. And again, like I said, it came off as goofy. And overall, I enjoyed it, and I think I'd like to read a short story by Kuznak, though, because I think that might shine a little better. It's not exactly told in a pulp style so much. It has a similar story, I think. Also feels very modern in other places, though. It feels, I don't know, the scares come from a more modern and bloody type of horror, and the suspense and interesting bits come from this older style, so it's kind of blending both. There are some phrases I found really good, like the one I shared at the beginning of this video, but also one like "a stone carved beautiful by rotting hands." So anyways, I am interested in what Kuznak writes next, and again, it's not a bad story. It's rather short. It's like 250 pages maybe or so. So maybe check it out if this sounds interesting to you. But anyways, Liam from Liam's Lyceum. I will catch you next time.